radio dial, also the big920.com, and of course the big 920 on the AM dial here in Milwaukee, and also on our fancy cameras here. I'm looking at them. Thanks to our friends at Rapina's Fine Foods. You can actually watch what we do and listen online at racingroundup.net. I see Donnie Shuffler's in the house. Congrats on your second win of the season Saturday night at Beaver Dam. Cool to see you here hanging out. We'll try to squeeze you out if that's okay. That's okay, if you might be busy. We also have the winner of the Alan Kowicki Memorial Race. We had him scheduled before he won, so it's good mojo. I'm thinking that we maybe lead to more wins this season. John DeAngelis is in the house tonight, a big winner at Slinger Speedway, his first ever feature winner on Sunday night. Also, we're talking to Josh Hayes. He's the four-time and defending AMA Pro Superbike champion. He's racing the Moto America Subway Superbike doubleheader at Road America coming up May 29 through 31. We'll talk to Josh as well. Randy and Roy Henning are here with Dave Hohensee as part of our drag racing report extravaganza. The Olympics of drag racing is this weekend at Great Lakes Dragway. We'll tell you more about that. And you can win tickets to Great Lakes this Sunday and some really cool ticket giveaways as well. We'll get into that. We have tickets to give away as well to the Milwaukee Indy Fest because I got a chance earlier today to talk to Simon Pagenaud, who qualified third for this Sunday's Indy 500. He was in town today. And also we'll get a full report on qualifications at Indy from Bill Krembring on our program tonight as well. We're also going to welcome in a driver who's going to be busy behind the number 7 Anderson Pure Maple Syrup Chevrolet for Junior Motorsports this Saturday in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. His name is Regan Smith. Currently 6th in the standings, running for a championship. This Saturday, he's going to be running the Andersons Pure Maple Syrup colors. We're talking to Regan tonight on the program in about an hour's time. Looking forward to that, as well as some short track results in the world of NASCAR. We've got it all for you here on the Racing Roundup program. Come on down and join us at Paulies Pub and Eatery, 81st and Greenfield in West Allis. We're here for 90 minutes on the air. Great giveaways after the show as well. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and on Madison's home for NASCAR, the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
Be part of the fun and excitement of short track auto racing this Friday night at Madison International Speedway. See the fast and furious action of Wisconsin's fastest half mile. Plus the thrills and spills on the Ring of Fire.
This Friday night is Buckner Night at MIS. All concessions are just $1 and dollar beer all night. Beer for $1. NASCAR late models, Dave's White Rock Sportsman, Military Bandits, Vintage. This Friday night at Madison International Speedway.
It all happens this Friday night at Madison's NASCAR home track, Madison International Speedway. Gates open at 6. First supply dashes at 7:30. Kids under 5 are always free. Take advantage of our family pricing. Madison Speedway, located between Oregon and Stoughton. Visit MISRacing.com for more info. Special thanks to Budweiser and Pepsi. NASCAR Whelen All-American Series racing action. Affordable fun for everyone. This Friday night, under the lights, Madison International Speedway. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you're only going to need the edge.
Add beauty and value to your home or commercial property with professional landscaping from Central Services Company Incorporated. The team of professionals at Central Services is the personal choice of over 30 years of satisfied customers in Southeast Wisconsin with landscape design, construction, and grounds maintenance. Call Central Services at 262-548-0005 for all your landscaping and lawn care needs. No job is too large or too small. From lawn fertilization and weed control to award-winning landscape construction, Central Services is your full-service landscape company. Call the experts of Central Services at 262-548-0005 for a free, no-obligation consultation at your home or business regarding your landscaping or lawn care needs. Find out why Central Services can provide you with a visual difference in the art of landscaping and lawn care. Call 262-548-0005 or toll free at 1-800-236-LAWN. Central Services, the visual difference in landscaping.
Is your business compliant with federal and state regulations? Are you sure? Business materials containing data about your employees or customers could potentially be legal liabilities. Eliminate the risk. Get compliant and sleep better. Call Piranha Paper Shredding. Piranha Paper Shredding gives your business safe, secure, complete, and green destruction of your company's sensitive information. Piranha Paper Shredding is your information destruction expert. Safe, secure, and complete information destruction is your business's best defense. Call 800-808-6577 or visit piranhapapershredding.com.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street at Drexel are experts in automotive repair. From minor to major repair, from oil changes to engine and transmission replacement. For 23 years, Oak Creek Automotive has Milwaukee's South Side covered when it comes to know-how and automotive repair. Call Oak Creek Automotive at 414-761-3250. They're open for your convenience Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. and Fridays, 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. Head to Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street at Drexel for all your auto repair needs.
Friends on Forest Home is the new name for BB Rubble at 56th and Forest Home, and the tradition of the trophy is back. When there's a caution flag during Sunday NASCAR races, if your number's drawn, you get the trophy and drink for free until the next caution flag. New owners Jeff and Patty are carrying on the NASCAR tradition in a remodeled, fun atmosphere with $2 tappers and beers bucket specials during the races. Friends on Forest Home at 56th and Forest Home wants to sponsor your league team. See Jeff for details. Milwaukee's original NASCAR bar is now called Friends on Forest Home.
Back on the Racing Roundup program, the 99th running of the Indianapolis 500 is this coming weekend. Of course, the IndyCar tradition at Milwaukee dates back to 1903. The racetrack was actually built across the street 9 years before the Indianapolis Motor Speedway held an official championship event in 1909, whatever the years are. The idea is the tradition runs deep here in Milwaukee and as well as in Indianapolis. We've got it covered for you as we're sitting right across the street from the Milwaukee Mile in anticipation of the July 11-12 Milwaukee Indy Fest. We are certainly geared up as the world is drawing attention on the greatest spectacle in racing called the Indianapolis 500. To cover it for us during this month of May, let's welcome back into the program Bill Kremering. Hey, Bill, how are you? How was the weekend?
Hey, Jim. Thanks for having me back. And it was an interesting weekend, to say the very least. What more could go wrong? Mother Nature already wiped out the first day of qualifying after only 2 drivers were able to record their attempts. Sunday morning, the track was dry. The sun was trying to peek through the clouds as the teams practiced again to get their qualifying setups right when Ed Carpenter's car spun to the outside, climbed the wall, and flipped. Fortunately, Ed was able to walk away from the crash, albeit somewhat upset that his car, which had been prepared to take a shot at the 3rd straight Indy 500 pole, was trashed. Practice was halted as they cleaned up the crash. As the track maintenance crew worked to repair the safety barrier and the retaining fence, IndyCar officials began the first of several meetings with the teams, engine manufacturers, and car constructors. Hours went by. The track repairs were complete, but there was no track activity. In fact, all of the cars were pushed back to the garage area, and the teams were thrashing, making changes to the cars. Finally, word came out. Mark Miles, CEO of Holman & Company, owner of the Speedway and IndyCar, said,
"This morning we saw a 3rd car get into the wall, turn backwards, and lift into the air. As precautionary measures and after consulting with the manufacturers and the teams, IndyCar will require that cars qualify today with the same aero configuration and boost levels that they will run in the race next weekend. In addition, because the situation has been fluid, we have decided not to award championship points for the qualifying."
After several more hours, a practice session was held so the teams could check out their setups and get ready to make their one attempt at qualifying. The extra turbo boost was gone, as well as the slick bodywork designed to minimize drag, so the pole speed was going to be reduced from the mid-230s to the mid to upper 220s. Will Power, on a roll after his pole and win in the Angie's List Grand Prix of Indianapolis, was presumed to be the front runner. Unfortunately, he came up 41/100th of a mile per hour too slow to claim the top spot. He said the changes to the qualifying procedures were necessary.
The problem was the fact that when you crash, the car flies. But, I think that this is the first year we've ever had with this car that you could trim enough to make it quite hard to drive that people were making mistakes and crashing, which when I first started here at Indianapolis in 08, that was happening every day. But, the problem was the cars take off.
Next to him, on the outside of the front row, was his new teammate this year, Simon Pagenaud. He seemed to be laid back, but apparently, inside the garage, he lets his hair down, at least according to Will Power, who provides some insight at the end of this clip.
I'm just going to keep being like I have been, like pretty non-emotional about it and do my job, even though I'm super excited.
You've been coming in crying every day and you haven't been fastest. Don't lie.
The winner of the pole for the 99th running of the greatest spectacle in racing, Scott Dixon, said he too had his thoughts on the changes made prior to qualifying.
We don't want to see cars getting in the air, and there's only few tools that you have in the toolbox to use, and IndyCar whether it's the right or wrong situation for safety, it's kind of all they had. And I think we saw today, obviously, the speeds came down. And with the speeds down, obviously, I think the safety, is going to get better anyway.
So there you have your front row, a Target Chip Ganassi car with 2 Penske cars outside of it. They are followed by Tony Kanaan and another Ganassi car, Elio and a Penske, and a surprise pole challenger, Justin Wilson, driving a one-off event for Andretti Autosports, was the fastest Honda. He starts on the outside of the second row. Buddy Lazur is the odd man out as he failed to qualify in the top 33. James Hinchcliffe continued his string of bad luck at the Speedway. Remember, he suffered a concussion last year after being struck by a piece of debris while running in the inaugural Grand Prix of Indianapolis, and then crashed with Ed Carpenter in the 500. On Monday, in practice, he crashed hard in turn 3 after a part of the right front suspension broke. He had surgery on his left leg yesterday, and no replacement driver has been named as yet. He is reported to be doing well at the hospital. So who's going to win it? Well, between Penske and Ganassi, they darn near have 1/3 of the field, and each of the car and driver combinations are capable. The Hondas seem to be long shots because Chevy has only allowed them 1 win this year, and that was a timed event run in the rain. The dark horse pick this year is Graham Rahal. He's coming off 2 straight runner-up finishes. Maybe this will be his race. What do you think, Jim?
Well, it's a good pick, and you and I talked off-air about how strong Graham Rahal's season has been. Does Rahal and Letterman and Lanigan, do they have the components? Do they have those key ingredients? Because I know the year that Andretti was struggling, their engineers were with other teams. Do you think they have the strength based on what you've seen this season so far, Bill, that Rahal does have the package?
I don't think there's a problem there with that. They've been able to get their cars to run when the other Hondas haven't been able to run. So I don't think with the way the configurations of the cars are that there's going to be any big difference between Honda and Chevrolet. I think it's really going to come down to strategy, and for one reason or another, the Rahal team has got it together this year.
It sounds like it should be fun to watch, Bill. We'll look forward to your report next Tuesday here on the Racing Roundup Show. Thanks.
Thank you. Take care.
Absolutely. Bill Creming reporting from Indianapolis, and there is the latest word I have on driver James Hinchcliffe from the IndyCar Series. They said, quote, he is resting comfortably as he remains in stable condition following surgery yesterday at the IU Health Methodist Hospital for an injury to his pelvic area and upper left thigh. He is undergoing further evaluation in ICU and has been ruled out of racing in the Verizon IndyCar Series for the foreseeable future. His car owner, Sam Schmidt, also said that he had a huge gash and it affected his femoral artery in his leg. So they credited the safety team, the Ultra safety team at the track, and the doctors at the hospital for making sure that they could stop the bleeding, because that is the main artery going from your heart to everywhere else on your lower extremities. So that was a big concern for them. They have it under control, and hopefully their aero packages as well will keep those cars on the ground. I did have a chance to talk to Simon Pagenaud today. He was in Milwaukee, hanging out, talking about the Milwaukee Indy Fest. I caught up with him earlier this afternoon, but before we rolled tape, I just had to talk to the guy. I've never met him. He's a Frenchman. He's raced 3 times the Indy 500. He's now racing for Team Penske. He's earned the right, as it is, kind of like Hendrick. If you get the right rides and you're doing the right thing, you'll get noticed and get in really good equipment. Well, the NASCAR IndyCar analogy comes home. They added a 4th team to add Simon Pagenaud. He qualified in the front row for Sunday's 99th running of the Indy 500 in 3rd. I caught up with him. He was a 2012 Rookie of the Year in the IndyCar Series. I caught up with him earlier today. Here's what he had to say in Milwaukee, promoting Milwaukee Indy Fest.
Spending a few minutes at the House of Harley-Davidson, home of the ticket office for Milwaukee Indy Fest, coming to Milwaukee July 11 and 12. Simon Pagenaud is here and spending the day, getting a chance to meet with some fans, check out some bikes. What are your impressions of Milwaukee when you think about racing at Milwaukee, but the fans here as well?
It's fun, it's a fun place, Milwaukee. Especially racing here has always been fun. It's a very special place, Milwaukee. There's no other oval like it. It's completely flat and it's 1 mile. So I really enjoy it. I've had good results here, and looking forward to my first year with Team Penske. And I know that they won the race last year, so we should have a car that's very competitive. So it's exciting. The fans are always awesome. People are very welcoming. There's always interesting things to see. Today it's here at the Harley-Davidson factory, so it's great. Got to see some cool bikes and a lot of people working here. It's impressive. What a big place.
Did they try to sell you a bike? I understand you used to be a rider.
They started one. I started to think about it, but no, they didn't try to sell it.
You've raced in Indy 3 times, in Milwaukee 3 times. This is the big week. You've qualified on the front row of Indianapolis with the most prolific team at the Speedway. What are you thinking as this is race week for the Indy 500?
Well, it's a really good question. In this week, it's we have to do so many. We have so many commitments from partners of the race team, from friends, family coming, from media tour like today, or we're going to have so many commitments throughout the week. But in the meantime, we drivers, we have our head in the game. We're already thinking about the race. We're already thinking how it's going to play out, what we should do on the race car to help the balance. And the temperature, you're always looking on the phone what the temperature is going to be like, because obviously when the temperature changes, the car changes as well. So it's a long week. It's a very long week, and the relieving time is when you get in the car.
And the experience you have surrounding you now is deeper than you've ever had. The teams you've had prior to this year have been performing. You've been driving them to your nth degree. Now you've got 4 teams. You've got all the data. You've got experience. You've got trophies in every room you walk through in the shop. When it comes to that, how does that help you prepare for Indy and Milwaukee?
It's amazing. There's so much talent in the race team. Not only the drivers, but the engineers, the mechanics. Everybody is so talented and so dedicated to win. That's the biggest thing about Team Penske. Is you walk into Team Penske, you know they're going to give you the best equipment, the best chance, the best opportunity for you to win. So it's not a given, but you have to give them 100% because they're giving you 100%. So it's your job to actually prepare stronger and give it everything you have on the race day. So that's why you're better prepared with the equipment. And you personally, I think you're just more intense because you just can focus on yourself more as a driver.
That is Simon Pagenaud, who starts third in the Indy 500. He'll be racing on July 11 and 12 at Milwaukee for the Milwaukee Indy Fest. We actually have tickets and a package and a couple of autographed T-shirts, and Simon autographed a little 6-pack cooler that was part of the giveaway today for the fan involvement that I happened to tag along to at the House of Harley-Davidson. Again, that's the ticket office for the Milwaukee Indy Fest. So you got tickets to give away tonight. You can always buy them there. And go to MilwaukeeIndyFest.com for more information. I want to thank our friends at Andretti Sports Marketing and Team Penske for allowing us to grab Simon for a few minutes, as he, of course, has a very busy week. And Bill Crumming will have it all for us again, covering the Indy 500 for us here on the Racing Roundup Show. One last note on Simon. He said, how long has your radio show been going on, and where is it be held? And I said, it's right outside turn 1 of where you're racing in Milwaukee. He's like, oh, that's cool. He said, how long have you been doing that? I said, 31 years. He said, I just turned 31. That's kind of cool. You've been doing it that long? So my point of that is, yeah, we're old, but we also are going to watch Simon Pagenaud with his best opportunity at age 31 get a chance to win the Indy 500. I think it's really cool, and it plays well into our next guest on the program. At just 39 years young, he's a motorcycle rider that is kicking tail, and he just won both events in the AMA Pro Superbike competition this past weekend at VIR. We're talking to Josh Hayes next, 4-time and defending champ in that class. He's running the Moto America Subway Superbike doubleheader at Road America May 29 through 31. And in our next segment, strap in because we're talking to an ARCA Midwest Tour touring star who happened to bag his first big win at Slinger on Sunday night, the Alan Quickie Memorial. John DeAngelis is here with a whole bunch of folks, so we'll talk to John on the program. We're going drag racing in a little while with Dave Hohensee and his drag race report, along with Randy and Roy Hennig, the men in charge at Mofoco and Great Lakes Dragaway. Regan Smith is going to be calling us live on the program as well, so hope you tune in for that. And we've got a great update on things here and everywhere. That's the world of motorsports. We've done it for 31 years. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show in Milwaukee on the Big 920. And I'm Madison's home for NASCAR, the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
Kick off summer with thunder on 2 wheels in the Moto America Subway Superbike doubleheader at Elkhart Lakes Road America, May 29th through the 31st. This extreme 2-wheel weekend features the best superbike riders in the country on Road America's beautiful and fast 4-mile road course. Get your print and home race tickets and reserve your campsite today at roadamerica.com. It's the Subway Superbike doubleheader May 29th through May 31st at Elkhart Lakes Road America, your national park of speed.
Rapina's Fine Foods at 76th and Beloit Road in the Westwood Center is one of Milwaukee's finest grocers. Shop a true neighborhood grocer for the finest quality beef, poultry, seafood, and sundries. Rapina's has all your grocery needs. Enjoy fine selection from Rapina's Fresh Bakery and Deli Department. Consider Rapina's catering and special menu planning. Available on their website, rapinas.com. Visit Rapina's Fine Foods at 76th and West Beloit Roads. Rapina's Summit Cafe is now open at 6737 West Washington Street in the Summit Place in Milwaukee.
Shop Rapina's Fine Foods at 76th and West Floyd Roads, and check out their weekly specials at rapinas.com. Good Day Construction and Property Maintenance is your local source for residential and commercial property upkeep, maintenance, repair, and restoration. Whether it's to keep your property looking good or you need to gut and rebuild from top to bottom, Good Day Construction staff of over 20 qualified tradespeople have you covered. For a free no-obligation quote, contact them at 262-662-2201 or through their website at gooddayconstruction.com.
Trademark Real Estate Company, the full-service real estate brokerage catering to racers and race fans alike. They offer buyers with free property searches and acquisitions when you're looking to buy a home, land, or investment property, and provide full-service listing services to sell your property. If you're looking to buy or sell, contact Dan Church Jr. at 262-751-5311 or check out their services on their website at trademarkrealestatecompany.com.
GDC Heating, Cooling, and Drain Cleaning is the home of the $89 service call. That includes the first hour of troubleshooting, diagnosis, and repair. All makes, all models. Heating, air conditioning, and plumbing drains repaired right the first time at a reasonable price. Mention you heard this on the Racing Roundup Show for a 10% race fan discount. Call 262-662-2201 or go online to gdchvacservices.com.
You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show, live from Paulies Pub and Eatery at 81st and Greenfield in West Allis. Sponsored in part by Complete Heat Treating. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
And we're back on the Racing Roundup Show, live in Milwaukee on the Big 920, live in Madison on the Big 1070, live on the radio on the internet. If you want to go to racingroundup.net, you can hear it and see it live as we do it. For 31 seasons, this is your home for all things motorsports. Hey, if your vehicle's gotten the black flag, you need to call Miller's Sales and Service. The number to call is 920-994-4358. They have over 60 quality new or pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs specializing in General Motors products. Ask for Brad, Jerry, or Tom. That number again, 920-994-4358. Miller's Sales and Service. All their inventory is online at millerssales.com. We now have a gentleman on the phone who's a very busy guy, and he's been busy doing this for over 20 years. He is the defending racer when it comes to the Pro Superbike category. He's the defending and four-time AMA Pro Superbike champion, rider of the #1 Monster Energy Graves Yamaha R1 Superbike. From Gulfport, Mississippi, the Mississippi Madman, Josh Hayes. Josh, welcome to the Racing Roundup Show.
Hey, thanks for having me. How are you guys?
We are excited. Thanks to John Everett and the folks at Road America to say, you want to talk to a rider? Let's get Josh on the phone. So, hey, thanks for doing this, letting us in on what's going on. And I also want to start off by saying congratulations on the big double win at VIR last weekend.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. I'm really glad to get that one in the books, considering I have such a fast teammate. So it's always fun to be able to get a 1-2 punch in there on him while he's young and make sure he keeps some respect.
For those who don't know, you've had a great run last year. You had a teammate in Josh Herron who really was battling you for the last 5 years. Now you've got this young kid, Cameron Bobbier, who's actually leading the points, but you beat him both days. That's kind of a good feeling because he's a little bit younger than you are.
Yeah, well, you know how it is. Now they've changed up the point system, and winning races or getting a zero makes a much bigger difference, right? So having that one tip over at Road Atlanta really hurt me for championship and gave him a lot of points, but getting 2 race wins got me a lot closer to him than it would have in the past, and setting up for could be some really good excitement. I raced against Cameron at Road America last year, and we had a really good race with him tipping over. So, you know, I'm sure he's learned and he's going to be a little better. We've got a brand new R1 that we're both trying to come to grips with, and should be a lot of fun.
I know what's amazing to me, Josh, is you've heard it, you know it, you've lived it. You've won 4 championships the last 5 seasons, 7 race wins last year, 8 wins the year before, 16 wins in a single season in 2012, including 10 in a row. And at Road America, you were unstoppable there for the longest time. You still have the upper hand, I believe, on anybody when it comes to that big track, those high speeds. What are you looking forward to most? May 29, 30, and 31 at Road America for the Moto America Superbike doubleheader.
You know, it's just my favorite track in the country. I love going there. The time of year that we show up there in early June, it's always, you know, super green grass, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a great atmosphere, and it's a racetrack that suits me. I like 3 top gear straightaway. I like really hard braking and 90-degree turns where you have to get on the gas and spin the tire. And it's just, I have never in all my years of pro racing gone to Road America and left without a smile on my face. I love that place.
And you get to race everywhere. So give the fans here maybe a perspective of how spoiled we are, perhaps, when it comes to how good we have it when it comes to road racing, motorcycle racing at Road America at this level.
Well, you've got a world-class facility and somewhere we've been coming to for a lot of years. We've had a lot of racetracks coming on and off that schedule. But, you know, the owners of the track there, you know, it's important to them to keep this event going. And we're lucky as racers that they do that because it's always a fantastic event. I think they're getting back to some good things for the spectators. So far, at the previous couple of rounds, we've had jumbotrons there where you can sit in one area, like the Turn 5 area, and see the racing up close and then still be able to see what's going on around the rest of the racetrack with the jumbotron screens. So, you know, that kind of increases the experience for the fans there at the racetrack. And, man, we got a new beautiful sounding R1, and it's super fast. So we're really looking forward to getting to that next event.
You've been a Yami rider for a long time, and I got to say that when it comes to getting around Road America, you'll be one to watch. But I also know that there's going to be more video screens, more HD screens at Road America. They just announced that, and they're putting some new pavement down that they tested this coming weekend. It will be the first chance for the vintage cars to get on the racetrack. With more grip at Road America, what kind of speeds are we thinking about now, Josh? If you're coming off of 14 and jamming up through the gearbox, when you whiz underneath that starter's bridge, how fast do you think you'll be topping out at?
I don't know. You know, we've typically gone pretty fast there in the high 180s there in the past. So, you know, with this new motorcycle, maybe we'll get into the 190s. That would be pretty awesome and a lot of fun. It's not so good on my end because I have to close my eyes. I get scared, but it'll still be good.
You've done your fair share. This past weekend, for those who are listening, Josh Hayes is riding a motorcycle that's really fast. As a matter of fact, he is so fast he won his 50th and 51st races on the same day this past Sunday. When it comes to AMA racing and pro superbike category, you've got a lot of accomplishments, Josh. When it gets to the finer points at Road America, you've got 2 races on Sunday. It's not a Saturday race. You got some time in the morning on Sunday. You are racing at 11:30 and you're back on that bike in no time. What are the finer things you have to prepare for when it comes to these high speeds at Road America come May 31st?
You know, it's always important to be in good physical condition whenever we get there. And I had a good weekend in Virginia, but I also had a crash, and I got to take care of the body a little bit to make sure I'm ready. Typically, we're seeing more moderate temperatures at Road America, so that's going to be a little bit nicer for us than it is when we're down in the south. But it's still going to be difficult because we're going to have 2 races. They're going to be, 13 to 15 laps. There's a lot of hard braking. We have such long, hard brake zones at Road America where we're grabbing the brakes so hard. It really takes its toll on you. It's like pulling G's in an airplane sometimes. We're squeezing the lever as hard as we can, locking up a core, trying to hold the bike straight. So it takes a lot of energy to be able to do that, you know, 6 or 7 times around that racetrack and on every lap. And we're going to have to put 2 13 to 15 lap races together in one afternoon. So you're going to have to be on top of it. And on top of that, you got to be smart and feeling good at the end of the race so that you can put on the right move and get the win.
There's so much mental in that as well. So I'm wondering, I've got to talk to Cameron, your teammate, next Tuesday. John lined him up already with me, which is fun. So I want to ask that young man, maybe a question you can give me. What should I ask him or remind him of when I talk to him next week, Tuesday on the show?
Just ask him what won last year. That's all you need to do. And tell him that you talked to that guy and he plans on doing it again.
That's a plan, Josh. Hey, thanks for your time tonight on the Racing Roundup Show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Josh Hayes, he's out of Mississippi, and he knows how to go fast. They call him the Mississippi Madman. Thank you, Josh, and thank you, Road America, for lining up that great interview. He's racing in the Moto America Subway Superbike doubleheader, May 29, 30, and 31. Go to roadamerica.com for more details. And he's got a 22-year-old teammate. He's a 39-year-old rider. So imagine the shape he's got to be in, and he's still kicking tail. And he's got a young man who's leading the points, and he's chasing him down. We're looking forward to talking to Cameron next week. We're also got Cameron's roommate on the program, and the suggestion of Road America, Garrett Gerloff, is going to be on as well. So we're going to do the conference call. One will be in the living room, one will be in the other spare bedroom or something. And I think I'll just sit back and listen to those guys gripe about something. They hang out together and race really fast together as well. Hey, when it comes to racing, and all forms of racing, one thing we like to do here on the program is talk a lot about the drivers that are making their way through. And we've got a very special guest next on the program. Just last year, he was crowned the Slinger Super Speedway Super Late Model Rookie of the Year. Well, this year he's got a big effort going. He is an ARCA Midwest Tour touring star. He raced Saturday at the Wausau's State Park Speedway for the Wimmer family. And then Sunday night, wouldn't you know it, drug out the other car, and he won his very first Super Late Model race, the Alan Coakley Memorial. Put your hands together for John DeAngelis. John, welcome to the program. Good to have you back.
Thank you.
Take us through your weekend. You had all these other guys. You had the Sauter guy. You had Majeski. You're a touring star, so there's certain things you have to do and get to do. And let's get to Sunday here in a little bit. How did Friday and Saturday go for you?
Good. We actually went up to Wausau Friday night, stayed over there. Saturday practice was going all right. We weren't the fastest like Ty, but we were up there. Started the race in 14th. We were working our way up through the field and kind of got spread out. 13 laps ago, we got a flat right front and couldn't continue the race, but I feel like we had definitely a top 10 or top 8 car.
I understand the surface is newer this year. How did that affect the cars and how did it affect the race on Saturday?
They actually had put down some new asphalt in turns 3 and 4 on last Tuesday, I believe, and 20 laps into the first practice, it was all ripped up. So we were under about an hour and a half delay while they ripped it up off the track and pushed it back to the infield. So it definitely made practice from the first session to the last session kind of different, so we didn't have much time to adjust the car.
Sounds like you had a good run going, though. I mean, it's just a matter of that competition, the level you decided to take that step into. Tell us how the season's gone thus far with the ARCA Midwest Tour running the second event of the season.
Madison didn't go as planned. It was a brand new car we took out right out of the trailer. Didn't even have time to shake it down anywhere. So it was kind of rough, but Wausau was pretty decent. I mean, like you said, there's a lot of talent. It's definitely much harder than a local short track. And I think so far it's going good, and we'll just keep building off of that.
How much of your team has been with you through this progression? It's a very quick one, I would say, between late models, super lates, and now tackling touring state races.
Right. We were in the limited lates for 4 years, including last year, and we got our feet with the super late. As you said, we won Rookie of the Year at Slinger. I've had 2 crew guys. They've been with me the whole time. Obviously, my dad and one other guy, and we picked up some other people along the way, and they've really helped out a ton.
And when it comes to getting things right, you didn't race that same car Saturday that you won with on Sunday. So how much more work did you have to do on Sunday when you got back to the shop to get ready for Slinger Sunday night?
Well, it was easy as pulling the one car out of the shop and putting it in the trailer, and then vice versa. And the weeks are definitely longer than the weekends. Getting 2 cars ready, and the backup car is always sitting in the trailer. But it's definitely a longer time during the week than it is on the weekends.
I'm laughing with you because the satisfaction of Sunday night has to really still be resounding pretty well throughout your team and your family.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I'm still shocked, and it's still hard to believe, but it actually happened.
Sunday was the first night race at Slinger Super Speedway of the season. They've had some Sunday afternoon shows. You've got experience there, but you've also not been able to bag the big one. The Super Late Model feature rolls out. Take us through when you rolled down on the track, knowing what you had and how the race played out for you.
Well, Sunday during practice, I mean, this was a completely different car we took there. We never had it there before.
Oh, okay.
And it was actually a car we rebuilt last year for Nashville. And I was feeling pretty confident in practice. We were second all day to Dennis Prunty in practice, and he was fast. Qualifying, it was my fault. We ended up 8th. I just overdrove the car like normal. Had a better car, but I took advantage of it. And, I felt really confident before the race. The motor builder came down. He said good luck. I had the chassis builder there, Ed Holmes. Him and George had talked, and we all felt pretty confident about it. And the start of the race, warm-up laps, I got over the radio. I said, this car's good. And I believe on lap 13, we took the lead from Chris Blauett and never looked back.
And when it comes to never looking back, there were a few cautions in between there, wasn't there?
There was 13 to go and 8 to go. I mean, my spotter, Cody Hubert, he came over the radio. He's like, just stay calm, and that's exactly what I did. I mean, I knew from being in the limited lates that you have to be patient, and we stayed patient throughout the cautions and just did what we had to do, and I knew the car was there.
Now, there are a couple folks here that told me before we got on the air that one was taking a long restroom break and the other one was jumping up and down like crazy. What was going through your mind when those restarts kept happening? You're like, I'm going to win this thing, but they got to stop throwing the yellow flag.
Honestly, it was almost like our Madison one last year for the Triple Crown race in the late models. We had a couple late cautions then, and I just knew if I stayed calm, I'd be able to do it. And like you had just said, my mom, she would not watch, of course.
I didn't say who it was.
And my dad, he's standing up in the spotter's tower, other guys trying to calm him down. I mean, obviously it's a big deal. It's our first win in the super late division, only my second year, so
Yeah.
he's trying to stay calm. And I'm just in the car, cool as can be. Spotter in my ear, just keeping me calm, and that's really what it took.
And what I believe is a strong, on your part, a strong position to be in is Eddie Holmes and George from Motormasters. Those guys, especially at Slinger Speedway, really have things hooking. And I've seen Eddie spend a lot of time with your team. He's not just there saying, I built the chassis, how's it going? I mean, he's the first guy popping the hood looking for stuff.
Right, yeah. Eddie's been with us for, I want to say, about 4 years now, and he's really been a benefit to our team. Also, George, too. He's the only one that's ever built my motor, so we have a pretty close bond that we know how to work on stuff together, and both Eddie and I, and George and I, so it kind of works hand in hand.
So you have the big celebration Sunday. Now the task is, okay, how many race cars are in the shop now to get ready for the next round?
Well, quite honestly, they're still in the trailer because we haven't had time to get to them. But
nothing wrong with that.
We'll get to them this week, and between Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we'll get them ready for this weekend. We have Slinger on Sunday, and then right from there, we'll depart for Ileana on Monday.
And you'll have this Alan Kwiecki logo on your car with more special meaning than ever because you won the Alan Kwiecki Memorial. It started at Slinger Speedway the year after Alan passed. I was there for the first one. Everybody gets to do the Polish victory lap. For you, it goes deeper, though, because you got involved as one of the finalists for the Alan Kwiecki Driver Development Program.
Right. I was really ecstatic about being one of the finalists for them. And, I mean, it was unfortunate we didn't get the final stipend or whatever you want to call it, but they still came up with a way to help us out, and I can't thank Tom Roberts and the Kwiecki DDP enough for that. It's such a great organization, and I'm definitely going to run for it again next year.
And when it comes to that, there's a little more exposure. There's a little more thought going into it. I know it was an extensive application process. So through that, what did it help you prepare for when it came to maybe even thanking your sponsors in Victory Lane or wondering how you get through this or reflecting on, yeah, I guess I have gone pretty far in only 5 or 6 years of doing this?
Right. I mean, it made me look back at what I all have accomplished and what I all want to accomplish, and it's really helping me out by applying for something like that because it's giving me a confidence booster. Let's go ahead and keep getting some more stuff like that.
This coming weekend, you're racing Monday afternoon at Ileana Motor Speedway. You've got a guy named Campbell. You've got a guy named Hoffman. They are kind of like the replacements for the Macassee and Sauter at State Park Speedway in Wausau. How are you approaching Ileana this Monday in the ARCA Midwest Tour event?
Quite honestly, I've never even been there, never even seen the place, and I usually do better when it's like that, so I'm really hoping it stays like that.
Should we stop asking about it then? Should we just stop? I'm kidding.
No, that's all right. Usually I do better at tracks I never even seen for some reason,
Okay.
so I'm really hoping I'll be all right with that. But, I mean, I know they're fast, so I'm hoping to get a couple laps behind them in practice.
Eddie's been there, which will help you get the gearing right.
Yep. So I think we'll be all right.
And when it comes to the competition level, is it where you want to be now? Is this where you want to get established like you did so well in the limited lates?
Yeah, I'm really shooting for a championship at Slinger, possibly Rookie of the Year in ARCA right now. I just want to keep around here for a little bit and then hopefully venture. We plan on going back down south this fall again, so we'll see where that takes us.
Go back to that if you could. Tell the folks that, it's John DeAngelis. I'm running my first year of Super Lates. Yeah, I'm going to Nashville. Hey, I might go down to Pensacola. Hey, I think I'm going to go to New Smyrna. I mean, you did quite an aggressive run there, considering that you've not had 10 years doing it before you did it.
Right, we're trying to hit a big show at the end of almost every year if sponsors allow it and funding is there. Like 2013, we went to the Snowflake. Last year we went down to Nashville, and this year we plan on going to run the Derby itself. So that should be a pretty neat deal.
Who is riding along with you? Let's get some credit to the folks, the friends, the family, and of course your sponsors.
I got to thank my dad, DeAndrews Construction, Gail from Industrial Recyclers, Cream City Wrecking, Krauso Tool Manufacturing, Bonafide Security, Holmes Motorsports, George and Sherry Forge from Motor Masters, and of course the Quickie DDP program for stepping up and still helping us out. I got to thank my family, my crew, everybody that else helps me and supports me week in and week out.
And when you have time not to go racing, what else do you like to do?
Well, it's usually working and then working on race cars, especially having 2 cars, so I don't have much time to do anything else. But
Well, keep up the good work on what you're doing because it's paying off. How about I say it for John DeAngelis, everybody? Thanks for coming on, John.
Thanks for having me.
Make sure you sign our MB Sign backdrop as well. We've got all our guests signing up there throughout the year. Great win on Sunday. I'm glad we lined you up before that because, your schedule might have been too busy to hang. No, I'm kidding. It's great to see you and your whole family. Thanks again. We
Thank
wish you
you.
well this weekend at Eliana and Slinger. You got 2 races again, Sunday and Monday afternoon, coming up on your docket. Hey, we've got a lot more to come here on the Racing Roundup program. We're talking drag racing next. We've got Regan Smith calling us at 7 o'clock. Yeah, that Regan Smith, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series driver, ran 4 races this year. He's 6th in the points in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And this coming Saturday night, he's sponsored by Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, a fine Wisconsin company. And, of course, it's all tied into our NASCAR report. We've also got the Bonafide Security Solutions short track report on the way as well. Stick around. You're listening to us in Milwaukee in the Big 920 and on Madison's home for NASCAR, the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment is a fully equipped parts, sales, and service dealer of quality mowers, snow throws, trimmers, chainsaws, and more. Olson services what they sell, does warranty service work on big box store mowers, and their expert service technicians are ready to get your equipment running right. Put their stock parts department and friendly, knowledgeable staff to work for you. Visit the racers at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment today at 14323 West College Avenue, just 1 mile east of Moreland Road in Muskego. Olson'sPower.com. Olson's Power Equipment.
At Automatic Transmission Design, we know your vehicle is important to you. When your transmission needs servicing, take it to the best. ATD in Germantown, Wisconsin. ATD understands how important it is to get your vehicle fixed right the first time. When you take your vehicle to ATD, our ASE-trained technicians will run diagnostic tests to pinpoint the exact problem and answer any questions you may have before repairs begin. ATD has been providing high-quality, honest repairs to customers for over 15 years. We service all makes and models using the best parts and equipment available. When you come to ATD, you will get an honest assessment of the problem, simple explanations, experienced technicians, competitive pricing, high-quality parts, and their 100% guarantee. Money is not the goal at ATD. It is the result of fixing the problem and returning the vehicle to you. That is their goal. The next time your vehicle needs quality transmission service, give Charlie a call at 262-251-7777 or visit autotransdesign.com.
Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln is a great place to watch NASCAR races, Packer games, Brewer games, and to meet up with your friends. Joey and Jim Lynch pride themselves on their friendly hospitality and welcome Racing Roundup listeners to stop in to watch all the races on their 14 TVs and flat screens. Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 Lincoln has been a longtime supporter of racers, including National Road Racing Motorcycle Champion Dan Delansky. Relax around the big neighborhood bar with 2 pool tables and dartboards surrounded by TVs. Whether you're meeting up before the game, want to watch the races with race fans, or just want to grab a cold one, head to Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 Lincoln and West Allis.
Kick off summer with thunder on 2 wheels in the Moto America Subway Superbike doubleheader at Elkhart Lakes Road America, May 29th through the 31st. This extreme 2-wheel weekend features the best superbike riders in the country on Road America's beautiful and fast 4-mile road course. Get your Cringe at Home Race tickets and reserve your campsite today at roadamerica.com. It's the Subway Superbike doubleheader, May 29th through May 31st at Elkhart Lakes Road America, your national park of speed. You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show, live from Paulies Pub and Eatery at 81st and Greenfield in West Allis. Sponsored in part by Complete Heat Treating. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
1070.com.
And we're back on the Big 1070 in Madison, the Big 920 in Milwaukee, and of course right here on the radio on the internet, racingroundup.net, or you can go to the iHeartMedia platform or listen on your mobile device anywhere you travel in the world. This portion of the Racing Roundup Show is brought to you by Borchert Speed Automotive, Wisconsin's largest speed shop at 6101 South 27th Street in Greenfield. Borchert's 34th annual Father's Day Car Show is coming up. It's a must-see event at Milwaukee's biggest speed shop with over 500 of the area's finest show cars. Expected at Borchert Speed Automotive on Father's Day. That date is Sunday, June 21st. This coming weekend, it's a big one. It always is on Memorial Day, and Dave Hohensy's here with the Drag Race Report with two special guests. Dave, welcome back to the program.
Thanks a lot, Jim. I only get up here every couple weeks, but I have fun. This past weekend, Summit Racing Equipment NHRA Southern Nationals. I was in Commerce, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. And befitting, Pro Stock, both Summit-sponsored Chevys were in the final, Jason Line and Greg Anderson. So they've kind of struggled a little bit, but they came through for their sponsors, so I'm sure the sponsors are happy. And Jason Line took the win there. And Dave, I'm sorry, but in Pro Stock this year, Chevys are kicking butt and taking names. It's real simple. Your Mopar guys, not so good. But when they get to Denver, maybe things will change. Funny car, Tim Wilkerson. Good to see him win, all right? He hasn't won since 2011.
Really, that long?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
been that long. I mean, you know, Tim's like kind of the independent guy that's out there trying all the time. So it's always good to, and he's from the area, okay, Illinois area, so it's good to see that. And Top Fuel, Antron Brown took out Leah Pritchett, one of the ladies that's racing in Top Fuel, and she was in her first Top Fuel final. He could have been nice and let her win, but knowing Antron, I don't think so. The Golden Greek, the ageless wonder, Chris Karamazini's made the field. He's 80-something.
He made the top 16
He
in Top
made
Fuel?
the top 16, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he went out first round, I think. But you know what? The guy's like 80-some years old.
Wow.
It's incredible when you see him. I mean, he doesn't look that age. And Pro Stock Motorcycle, Hector Arana, not his son, Hector Arana. He hadn't won since like 2009, and he took out his son in the semis in the process. So good for him. This weekend, Great Lakes Dragway, we've got the Olympics of drag racing, and to tell you all about it, we've got Randy Henning, owner of Great Lakes Dragway, and Roy Henning, president of Mofoco, sitting next to me. So
Hey, welcome to the
they're
show,
on.
guys. Thanks for coming back on, Randy. It's been a few years, and Roy, welcome to the program. You and I have talked about the great things going on at Great Lakes Dragway. And Randy, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
It's Memorial Day weekend.
Well, it's been nice to come back to the show and see some familiar faces. We used to be out here every Tuesday night for quite a few years. Great Lakes Dragway is a Memorial Classic, or the Olympics of drag racing, or the greatest show on earth. Will be the greatest show on earth again this year. We've got jets, rockets, brought by Bob, wheel standers, nitro funny cars, alcohol funny cars, nitro dragsters, alcohol dragsters. We'll have the Chicago Wise Guys Pro Mods, and we'll have Nostalgia Pro Stocks, Nostalgia Super Stocks, and the Milwaukee or the Midwest Gassers.
Wow, that's a lot going on. How many days are you going to be running down the track? Is it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday?
Well, we will have some test and tunes and some jets running on Friday night. And then the
At
full
night, jets at night, love it.
Jets at night. Then the full show will be on Saturday. Gates open at 9. Cars start running about 10. The feature show, the time trials run at 3, and the fastest cars start running at 5. We run 2 rounds after 5, so we have 1 round in the dark. Sunday, the time frame is exactly the same, and on Monday, we'll have fun racing and a few of the cars left over from the weekend.
And Dave Hohensee, you get to go play this weekend too, right?
Yeah, I get to play. My car owner, we're in the Nostalgia Pro Stock group, so for a change, instead
And he's
of
old enough to be in that, too.
Yeah, thank you. So instead of like paying an entry fee and trying to win rounds to make money, we actually get paid for taking like 3 runs each day. So it's a little different.
You've
so
got
it'll
a
be fun.
sponsor for your series, your division, then, right?
Right.
Nice.
So yeah, so it's kind of fun. So that'll work out. Get paid for a change.
What's bringing Roy Henning is this is really a family passion. Your dad, Randy, has been involved forever. Bought the racetrack a long time ago. You guys have done a ton of improvements. Take us through what you guys have done to get ready for this season, and we'll go from there about what's coming up this Sunday as well.
Well, one of my, I guess, it was nice that you guys talk about yourselves as the old guys, because one of my jobs at Great Lakes Dragway is to bring in some of the new people.
Okay.
And so what we're really pressing on this year, and of course I'm a new dad, I got a 10-month-old at home.
Congratulations.
So everything changes a little bit when you become a dad. And so one of the things that we're really trying to concentrate on is bringing in the kids, bringing in the families. We want this to be an all-encompassing family facility that you don't have to just come and watch drag racing. You can come and sit at the bar. You can come and go play some games. You can come, we're trying to add some more, added value to the racetrack. Kind of like a Lambeau Field, kind of like Miller Park, where you don't go there just to see the one thing. There's all kinds of other stuff to do.
Yeah.
So what we really did this time is we brought in Green Bay Packers, the legend Roy Butler, and he does his big anti-bullying campaign. And what he's going to do is he goes around to all these schools throughout the school year, talks about his anti-bullying campaign, tries to talk to the kids about, how to be better people and things like that. And so this is kind of a culmination of that year-long work, and we're kind of having a little party. And what that party's involving is we're having a little kids carnival. And so we're going to have some kids games. We're going to have a bouncy house. We're going to have a little train that can take the kids around.
Cool.
Leroy's going to be there doing a meet and greet. We're going to do some cooking out there as well. Leroy's going to be, he's a cook on the side as well as being a Packer legend.
Lambeau Leap originator is also a grill master. Love it.
Yes, he is, and he loves doing his grilling. But what we really want to do is bring these kids in, and also with the fact of all the, the street racing glorification that's gone on recently, on TV with the reality shows, in the movies. And we want to show these kids that it's not okay, and it's a little dangerous, and we've got a world-class facility like Great Lakes Dragway right in your back pocket here. And for $35, you can go race your own car. It's not like we're in the middle of Canada.
Right.
And there's nowhere to go. So we got to start these kids out early and try and show them, to be better people and not be bullies, but also the safeties of racing your car when you get to be that legal age. Race it at Great Lakes Dragway. Don't do it on the street.
It's great to teach that young crowd the lesson. It's Butler versus bullying. We've got tickets actually to this Sunday's event at Great Lakes Dragway. So if you want to take your family, come to the show tonight. We have tickets to give away to that event, as well as some other tickets to give away for Great Lakes Dragway. Thank you for bringing those. Good for other event weekends as well as this weekend, so that's neat to know. When it comes to working with guys like this, Roy, I know you've done some other work with some Brewers players and Leroy Butler and that kind of involvement. How much fun does that bring to you, knowing that they're bringing a whole different crowd as well?
It's actually a lot of fun because, really what the racetrack is about is cross-promotion and bringing people from other industries in because, with kids, especially little boys, everybody likes cars. Everybody likes a car, everybody likes a fire truck, everybody likes things to go fast, they like the jet cars, things like that. And so it's a lot of fun to be able to bring everybody together, and especially with what Leroy does, because he does a lot in the inner city schools and a lot of, kids that really can't afford, sometimes to be able to come out with their whole family to the track.
Yes.
Which brings me also to our Sunday special, Sunday only, is 13 and under with your parent or guardian is free.
Wow, great.
So the parents can bring out the kids, and it's going to take it'll be a little bit more affordable for everybody, and because we want the parents to bring out their kids, have a good time.
Check it out for a few hours if you want. There's no real, hey, I spent this much money, I'm going to stay here longer than maybe the kids might. Hey, you got a lot of stuff going on for the kids.
Yeah,
they want to be there all day.
Yeah, the carnival runs from the carnival, the rides and games and prizes and things like that runs from 1 to 5. So it'll be over before the main event starts, but there'll be time trials and other things going on during the afternoon, and then hopefully, as everybody stays and hangs out and watches the show.
I'm driving the train.
You are?
Yeah, just kids beware.
Okay, Casey Jones, just watch your throttle.
Watch your speed. Hey, when it comes to having fun there, Randy, you know how to get it done. When it comes to the competition and the standards that IHRA provides, and you guys continue to improve at the facility, that's got to be an evolving thing all the time on top of mind. What have you guys done to improve the experience for the fans and the racers when they go down the quarter mile?
Well, first of all, we changed to IHRA from NHRA for one primary reason. I know the president of the IHRA quite well. Scott Gardner, I brought him up from Tennessee the first year I bought the track, and he managed the track for a year before Broadway and Scott moved over to Cordova and took a shot at running that track. So in my phone, Scott's number is, and I can dial a number in my cell phone, and maybe Scott won't answer today, but he'll call me back within 24 hours. I don't have any number for the NHRA in my phone that anybody will ever call me back. So the NHRA is a great organization for the big guys, and the IHRA is a great organization for the small guys. So everything in the IHRA for the sportsman racer costs a few bucks less, and you have the access to the division manager quite better, and even to the president. And so people are looking to have more fun, where NHRA is big business. You can't deny that John Force has got a lot of money invested in winning all of these times. And the IHRA is more for guys like Dave Hohensee and me to go and have some fun racing.
Right. Now, I'll second that. I'm glad that the track switched back over. We were IHRA a number of years ago, went back to NHRA, and now we're back to IHRA. And it's a good deal for the sportsman grassroots racers, okay? So I'm glad the change was made.
And to couple with that a little bit, I mean, Great Lakes Dragway, we're really trying to promote ourselves as the people's racetrack. We want people to bring their cars out and race their cars down the track. We don't want it done on the street. That's why we're open as many days as we are every year, is because we want people to come out and participate. We want to be a participation racetrack rather than just a spectator racetrack.
And Roy, when it comes to that, what days are you allowing folks to come through the gates and check things out? What days is it only spectator events? You're letting the new guys in? How does that process work? Do they call the track for more information? Give some details there.
Just about everything's online between the Facebook page and on the website. But I believe we've got fun racing every single day that we're open, I think except for maybe this weekend. Do we have fun racing going on?
We have fun racing to a limited degree, but basically we're open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it kind of builds on Tuesday, and we have Tuesday's kind of like a novice day. People that haven't raced before, it's a little bit slower, so they come out, get their feet wet. We have more time to be able to work with them. The tech guy gets to look at their car, and the guy in the starting line gets to help them line up in the lights. And then Wednesday we have ladies' night, where ladies get in for free to either race or watch. We also have a guys' bracket race that day. Thursday is slicks only, where the cars start getting faster. Friday, it really hooks and books on Friday with things like RSD and other events where we have a lot of fast cars that drive on the street coming in there. And then Saturdays and Sundays we try to have spectator and racer days. So you can come down and learn what's going on any day except Monday. And we're the only track that's open 6 days a week, 33 weeks a year. And we're there so that people can have fun. And if you have a race that you want to race, if you have a guy that says that he's faster than you and you say you aren't, well, don't do it on the street for $35. If you're betting $5,000 to see who's the fastest guy, you can afford $35 to come to the racetrack each and have a controlled environment, have lights, have a sticky track, have an ambulance, have an EMT, and then when you're done, you can go and get a hamburger and a beer. And when the sirens go off, you don't gotta run. That's my cell phone.
Awesome. Hey guys, thanks for coming on the program. We certainly want to make sure that you guys are part of the weekend plans for the fans that are listening, and the folks that want to know more about Great Lakes Dragway. The website is greatlakesdragaway.com. Randy Henning, Roy Henning, Dave Hohensee. Thanks, guys. One more thing, Roy.
We'll leave you with this: Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
You just gotta absolutely, positively
be there.
Thank you, boys. Boy, that brings back memories. Thanks, guys. Hope to talk to you again real soon here on the Racing Roundup program. Stay tuned. We're listening to the Racer Roundup program on the Big 920 in Milwaukee, the Big 1070, the home of NASCAR in Madison. We'll be right back on the Racing Roundup show. Stay tuned.
Attention race fans, the region's biggest stars invade Ileana Motor Speedway Memorial Day Monday afternoon. It's the Calypso Lemonade Chicagoland Showdown, a super late model triple header. That's right. 3 action-packed 50-lap features. See the stars and cars of the ARCA Midwest Tour presented by Skag. Plus, top drivers from Chicago in the CRA Super Series by Jiggs. Majeski, Campbell, Mason, Whitmire, Island, Yurkovich, Weinkauf, Swan, Holzhausen, Chicago champs Hoffman, Cannon, Baker, and Schaefer. NASCAR star Eric Darnell. Champions and challengers from 8 states going wheel to wheel for the Chicagoland Showdown. Tommy Gun. Plus Mid-American stock cars. Gates open at noon. First big race at 2:30. Advance tickets on sale now. ARCAMidwestTour.com. It all happens Memorial Day Monday afternoon. Ileana Motor Speedway in Schererville, Indiana. Calypso Lemonade Chicagoland Showdown. ARCA Midwest Tour and CRA Super Series Triple 50s. This is the one big event you don't want to miss. Be there.
If you want to eliminate the hassles of planning a trip to the races, then you should hook up with Boring Bob's escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob offers transportation, lodging, tickets, nightlife, shuttle service, and more. Boring Bob knows all the back roads into and out of the racetrack. His motor coaches get the best parking spots. Let someone else worry about race traffic after the race. Pick one or pick them all. Go in style to Talladega, Charlotte, Joliet, Daytona, Michigan, and more. You name the race, let Boring Bob do the rest. Boring Bob has great packages for NASCAR, Winston Cup, and Busch Series events, including hotel rooms. Call Boring Bob today to make plans now to go on one of Boring Bob's famous escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob's always at 414-321-1307. That's 414-321-1307.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street at Drexel are experts in automotive repair. From minor to major repair, from oil changes to engine and transmission replacement. For 23 years, Oak Creek Automotive has Milwaukee's South Side covered when it comes to know-how and automotive repair. Call Oak Creek Automotive at 414-761-3250. They're open for your convenience Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. and Fridays, 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. Head to Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street at Drexel for all your auto repair needs.
Thank you for holding with a personal message while you wait.
Hi, this is Richard Petty from my friends at Schaefer Oil. Thank you for calling. I got them running down the person you're trying to reach. They'll be with you in just a minute. And by the way, did you know we use Schaefer's oil in our Richard Petty driving experience cars? Yeah, we love it too. Hey, hold on, and someone will be right with you. Just a minute. Thanks for calling.
With the crazy price of gas or diesel, improve your fuel mileage today with Schaefer's Specialized Lubricants. Schaefer's neutral gasoline additive can improve your mileage up to 10%, roughly 2 to 3 miles to the gallon more than you are getting right now. Schaefer's premium diesel additive improves mileage of 1.5 to 1 mile a gallon more, and it's been tested to improve diesel pickup truck mileage up to 2 miles per gallon. Schaefer's Rep Chris Hauser can get you the best deal. At $4 a gallon, you cannot afford not to call Chris Hauser. To improve your fuel mileage today, call Chris Hauser, the Racers Schaefer Specialized Lubricants rep, at 262-860-1004. That's 262-860-1004.
You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show, America's longest-running weekly motorsports radio program held in front of a live audience. Stay up to speed every Tuesday night on the local racing scene, NASCAR, and the world of motorsports. Live on WOKY AM, the Big 920 Milwaukee, and on WTSO AM, the Big 1070 Madison. There's still time to join the racing crowd for tonight's live broadcast at Paulies Pub and Eatery at 81st and Greenfield in West Allis. Once again, here is the voice of NASCAR at the track. You hear him on MRN's NASCAR coverage and as a pit reporter on Fox Sports 1, the host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
Hey, everybody. Thanks again. Welcome back to our wonderful show. It's a lot of fun to be with you on a Tuesday evening as I get to travel and watch these guys race. We're going to talk to one special driver that I bugged right before the race starts on pre-race grid and say, hey, can you talk to the fans on the stands about on the big Sprint Vision screens? And he's usually pretty accommodating unless he's got something going on. But I know he's got something going on this weekend. Our next guest happens to be driving the Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup number 7 Chevrolet Camaro for Junior Motorsports. He's currently 6th in the point standings, coming off an 11th place run at Iowa Speedway this past weekend. Let's welcome in via the phone live, Regan Smith. Hey, Regan, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jim. How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing really good. Our friends at Anderson's Maple Syrup have been sponsoring NASCAR teams for a while, and also we get a chance to have them as part of our NASCAR show on each and every Tuesday evening. What I'd like to know is, how much fun are you going to be looking forward to knowing you've got that Anderson Maple Syrup paint job all over that Chevy this weekend?
Well, I'm going to have a lot of fun with the Anderson Syrup Chevy. Obviously a good-looking race car and a great sponsor. They're a company that's been involved in NASCAR for a while, so we're proud to have them as part of the family at Junior Motorsports this season. And we want to go out and have a strong showing for them. We got a little bit of more of a hole after last week to dig ourselves out of than we had before last week. So start at Charlotte, so we're gonna work hard to do what we're capable of, and if things are all said and done, I heard some rumors that if we pull off a win, potential guys were going to pour maple syrup everywhere in Victory Lane, so that'd be quite the sight to see.
Yeah, there's Gatorade for some, but that syrup, I know it's delicious and it pours really fast. So if you are going to go one way then the other, Regan, in your victory celebration, make sure you leave some in the bottle because it comes out smooth and easy. The neat thing about it is you've got great support with you. This season has been, I think, one of the best in terms of competition. It was kind of thought of as that way with the not only your teammates and the drivers you get to race with and the 88 car on occasion, But looking at how this season is playing out, there's a lot of speed, and you guys continue to develop that and work your brains out. Take us through what it will take this weekend at Charlotte to get things right, knowing that it's in the backyard, but you practice Thursday, nothing Friday, and have to go qualify and race right away on Saturday.
Yeah, Charlotte's always unique in the schedule, and I think part of the reason for doing that is to allow the fans to travel into Charlotte that extra day to go check out the race shops, to go see the race teams, to see maybe if their driver has a facility or something that they let the fans come into and experience. We want to make sure we do that, and with people traveling as far out of town as some of them do, especially with it being a holiday weekend, with Memorial Day and everything. It's always neat how they accommodate that, and Friday is a quiet day. Now, with Friday being a quiet day, that makes it difficult on the drivers because you practice on Thursday afternoon and early evening. The afternoon practice for the Xfinity cars is going to be really relevant. It's going to have a lot to do with what we'll be doing on Saturday afternoon since it is a daytime race. The late afternoon practice, I don't know how much we'll actually run in that practice. Normally, we would use that as our money practice, where we'd really go out and dial the car in and get the car tuned perfectly. This week, we're actually going to use the first practice to do that. So I don't know how much we'll run in the second practice, but the most challenging part of the weekend is taking that day off Friday and coming back on Saturday, and your first lap on the racetrack has got to be pretty much as fast as you can go. It's qualifying trim, so you're going to be letting it all hang loose when you go into the corner and trying to refresh your memory as to where your marks were and how you want to hit them and what you want to do to be perfect in qualifying. So a unique schedule, but we all come to expect it at Charlotte, and we'll work around whatever we have to do to make sure that we have a fast race car when it comes time.
Indeed, we're talking to Regan Smith, who's got a busy schedule running full-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. This weekend sponsored by Anderson's Pre-Maple Syrup. And on a given weekend, Regan, when you travel, you've got a set schedule. You get there at a certain day. You've got accommodations. You've got your sponsor schedule set up. You've got your competition meetings and such. This being a home race, if you will, and now you've got a newborn, how will things change for you this weekend? Yeah, you're sleeping in your own bed, but will you have family time or more family time than a given weekend when you're on the road?
Well, I think that, no matter what, if you're sleeping in your own bed, it's kind of nice. And if you're going to your own house and then showering in your own shower, it's always a good thing. So, we look forward to those weekends. We only get a couple of them a year and try to take full advantage of them when we do. Everything's different for me this year anyways with the newborn. So it's all new to me. I'm learning as we go on this. I was very fortunate to have a happy, healthy baby boy who's been absolutely awesome so far. And it's going to be nice to have him at the racetrack this weekend. He'll get to come out and hang out in the motorhome. I don't know that we'll have him on pit road or anything like that, but it's going to be good for my wife Megan to have an opportunity to be around the team again and see all the crew guys that she hasn't seen in probably close to 6 months, and get to have some fun with them. And if I can get up on the wheel and do my job, and as we discussed, we could maybe have a lot of fun after the race.
And that's the neat thing about it. You'll have that home time, and I think it's valuable this time of the season with so much going on. When it comes to the Xfinity Series and the off-track schedules you guys keep, Junior Motorsports very active, not only on social media but posting radio shows and that kind of thing. It's great that you took some time out tonight to join us, but I'm thinking more along the lines of what does a driver like yourself need to do over the course of the week? People don't realize you probably have to watch what you eat, how much liquids you take in, because you're going to look at your phone and say it's going to be 95 degrees on Saturday afternoon. Okay, I've got to start drinking tons of water right now. Those kind of things, are they coming second nature to you, or is it something that you got to live with and that's part of your deal?
No, I mean it's something that's part of our deal. I think as you first start into these different series and start running the longer races, I think you have to understand your body and adjust to it and learn it. And you got to understand your schedule and know, okay, this is maybe I don't eat certain things leading up to the race, or maybe I make a point to eat certain things such as pasta or something leading up to the race. And I need to drink this much fluid the night before. I think for me, I've been around long enough that I know if I'm dehydrated and I need to get water in me and I need to, focus on something, I focus on it as it's a necessity. The Xfinity races are just a little bit shorter than the Cup races, so as I adjusted off of the Cup schedule onto the Xfinity schedule, it was definitely easier going that way than going the other way.
Yeah.
A guy like Chase Elliott, for example, we talked to him today on our Junior Motorsports radio show, and he's going to have some learning to do this weekend. Not only with running the Cup car, but running 600 miles.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot tougher for the guys that are going from an Xfinity length race to a Cup length race than the other way around. And with that said, he's going to have to figure out, okay, maybe I got to eat something during the race. Maybe I got to eat, more pasta or more carbs the night before the race than what I normally would. So he's going to have a learning experience there. I think for me, I've been in the system long enough, and I do things intentionally on certain days. I don't eat certain things the night before a race. I don't go out and have beers or anything like that beyond like maybe a Monday evening on any race week. That's just a standard operating procedure for me.
That's a really interesting way to go about it, because that is what you have to do. I also want to bring in the fact that you're at a point now where you're getting the chance to get that Sprint Cup Series opportunity. I feel it's going to come very soon. You also have the dynamics at Junior Motorsports of having Cup guys come certain weekends and play. But then you've got the guy like Ben Rhodes, who's got a 10-race deal, first of which was this past weekend, finishing 7th at Iowa Speedway. You're kind of in the middle of all of that. So how do you put your hands around it and still try to make sure your team performs well and they do well as well?
Well, we gotta focus on our team because, as you said, we've got 3 great cars within our company and 3 cars that we can use to learn from and 3 cars that we can lean on. And sometimes, for example, the 88, having been in his first race, he had to lean on myself and Chase a little bit and talk to us a little bit to get knowledge and gain experience that he had to gain to go out and do what he needed to do this past weekend. So it's definitely a benefit having 3 good teams. We also got to know that we have to race those teams for wins as well. Mm-hmm. So as much as you help each other and you work with each other, and it's an open book policy, everybody knows what each other is doing. You also know that you got to rally your guys around you to beat those guys and beat the other teams that obviously show up every week and have speed. So it's you try to balance it, and when all is said and done, the most important team is the team that you drive for. In which case, for me, it's the 7 team and the Anderson Syrup car. So that's always the priority, no matter what happens.
Regan Smith is joining us. One last comment I'd like to get from you is more of a put on your analyst hat now. I know you've won some very close races by doing exactly what your Junior Motorsports umbrella teammate did at the Truck Series race on Friday evening. Casey Kane said he side drafted with Eric Jones, got the advantage. Take us through how easy or how difficult that is in those key moments of the race to make sure your car can propel ahead of the car without anybody help behind you or in the draft, if you will. Take us through those final moments and what Casey did and maybe what Eric Jones learned how to do next time.
Well, what Casey did was phenomenal. I think we all saw that Eric had the dominant truck on Friday night in Charlotte, and I fully expected Eric to be able to clear him on that restart, and especially with Casey on the bottom, it seemed like when Casey had the top side, he was able to get on Eric's door and slow him down just enough to where he maybe had a little bit of an advantage. I thought for sure, as I think probably everybody that watched that race did, that Eric was going to take off on that green and white checkered and just pull away and use the top side to keep his momentum up and go. Casey just did a perfect job of driving, to be honest about it. He got up there, he side drafted at the right times, which slowed down the Ford truck at the right times, allowed his truck to get ahead at the right times, and talking to him Monday, I actually saw him at a golf tournament on Monday and told him how good a job I thought he did. And we were discussing it, and he said, I had to, going into turn 3, I actually had to back off because if I'd have gone in ahead of him, it was going to give him position at the line ahead of Casey based on how they were going back and forth on the side drafting. So just to put it in perspective, through all that going on, Casey had the ability to play the chess game and say, okay, I'm 2 corners away from the start-finish line, and if I go into this corner ahead of him, he's going to come out ahead of me, and I'm not going to be able to get back by him. So he checked himself up so that he had the run when they came to the start-finish line, and a huge night for Junior Motorsports. Second truck start ever to go out there and get a win and take Casey to what I think it was Casey's 4th out of 5 races in the Truck Series, or 5th out of 6, maybe, whatever the number is. I don't know the exact number, but he's won basically all of them that he's been in. So for him to keep that streak going the way that it was, a pretty cool night and nothing short of a spectacular job of driving at the end of that race. I think we could see that in the Xfinity Series if circumstances have us with a green-white checkered coming down to the finish. You certainly can use the side draft, and for the first 3-4 laps after a restart, when you're side drafting each other and when you're matching each other up and figuring out where you need to get close to that other car, it makes it a little bit easier to run side by side. If one car is able to clear another, then obviously we got the turbulence behind the cars and the wake that gets created from the aerodynamics that make it really tough to get that run back up there. So you'll see guys fight as hard as they possibly can to stay on somebody's door and try to get that advantage. And I think the top car typically has more of an advantage than the bottom car in those circumstances. But as we saw Friday night, you can't ever give up on it because the truck on the bottom was able to win it.
It was an amazing run, and thanks for taking us through that. I've learned a ton just listening to what you had to say, and we hope that you get the chance to be about 4 seconds ahead of anything like that on Saturday. We wish you well this Saturday.
I would much rather be 4 seconds ahead. 'Cause I can promise you this: the ones where you come down to the stripe and you're door to door and 2 or 3 inches apart when you cross the line, those are a little more difficult. Because when you win them, it's great; it's the best feeling ever. When you lose them, you're absolutely furious, and you think about a million things you could have done differently, and those are tough pills to swallow. I've had to go both ways. I've won them like that, and I've lost them like that. And I would much rather prefer to be about 4 seconds out in front and just kind of cruise to victory. I know the fans don't like to hear that, but from a driver's perspective, that's the way to do it.
Oh, yeah. Hey, thanks again for spending some time with us tonight, Regan. We really appreciate it.
Hi, guys. Thanks. Have a good night.
Regan Smith joining us here. He's racing the Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup Colors this Saturday. A Wisconsin company bringing us the NASCAR report. I want to congratulate Denny Hamlin. He bagged $1 million. His crew members with 3 lug nuts on all 4 wheels got out in 10-something seconds. Went from 6th to 1st on the last pit stop and won the Winston. Not the Winston. I was going to say the Winston. Yeah, I did. It's actually the Sprint All-Star race. How long has it not been the Winston? I don't know, 2000-something. Also, congrats to Kyle Busch and his wife Samantha. They gave birth to a baby boy last evening, Brexton Busch. Yep, healthy baby boy. All good to go there. Also, want to congratulate Casey Kane. We just talked about him with Regan Smith. Eric Jones had the fastest truck for the 2nd straight week, but guess what? Casey did exactly what you just heard on the show. Told us by an expert, Regan Smith, about how he won the race. His 4th Truck Series win in 5 starts, and he finished 2nd in the other one. So Casey's okay in the truck if you want to put him in. One big key there, crew chief on that 00 truck on Friday night, Joe Shear Jr. Congrats to Joe, a Clinton, Wisconsin native. Looking forward to seeing him soon at the racetrack. Brandon McReynolds won his first K&N Pro Series race at Iowa Speedway. He is the son of NASCAR and Fox announcer Larry McReynolds. Also want to tell you that the Xfinity race, we talked about it. It came down to Iowa Speedway and a green-white checker there. And wouldn't you know, Chase Elliott stayed out on tires, and everybody else came down and got some. And Chris Buescher pulled off his 2nd win of the season in the Roush Fenway Racing Ford. Congrats to Chris, who's been a guest here on the program in the past. Tonight's NASCAR report is sponsored by Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, a 3rd-generation Wisconsin business and NASCAR team sponsor. Everything tastes better with Anderson's Maple Syrup. Try it in your coffee or tea or even when grilling your favorite foods. Follow Anderson's race team all year long at AndersonsMapleSyrupRacing.com. The Modified Security Solutions Short Track Report on the way next on the Racing Roundup Show. Stay tuned. You're listening to us in Milwaukee in the Big 920, on Madison's home for NASCAR, the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
Automatic Transmission Design is located in Germantown, Wisconsin. They've been hard at work the last 15 years in perfecting the best performance racing transmissions and converters. The folks at ATD have made it possible to offer the best quality and most affordably priced winning components for off-road, drag racing, truck pulling, and circle track applications. ATD may not be the biggest or most famous company in the marketplace, but they have the will and put in that extra effort to provide you with the best products available. ATD's certified technicians go through a comprehensive quality checklist on every transmission and converter they build. Then it's tested on their in-house dyno. Only then is the product ready for shipment to the customer. ATD takes these steps to provide you with the best quality products every time. They are 100% guaranteed. Their no returns policy makes sure it's right the first time. The next time you need a performance transmission or converter, give Charlie a call at 262-251-7777 or visit autotransdesign.com.
Friends on Forest Home is the new name for BB Rubble at 56th and Forest Home, and the tradition of the trophy is back. When there's a caution flag during Sunday NASCAR races, if your number's drawn, you get the trophy and drink for free until the next caution flag. New owners Jeff and Patty are carrying on the NASCAR tradition in a remodeled, fun atmosphere with $2 tappers and beer bucket specials during the races. Friends on Forest Home at 56th and Forest Home wants to sponsor your league team. See Jeff for details. Milwaukee's original NASCAR bar is now called Friends on Forest Home.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street at Drexel are experts in automotive repair. From minor to major repair, from oil changes to engine and transmission replacement. For 23 years, Oak Creek Automotive has Milwaukee's South Side covered when it comes to know-how and automotive repair. Call Oak Creek Automotive at 414-761-3250. They're open for your convenience Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m., and Fridays, 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. Head to Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street at Drexel for all your auto repair needs.
Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment is a fully equipped parts, sales, and service dealer of quality mowers, snow throws, trimmers, chainsaws, and more. Olson services what they sell, does warranty service work on big box store mowers, and their expert service technicians are ready to get your equipment running right. Put their stock parts department and friendly, knowledgeable staff to work for you. Visit the racers at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment today at 14323 West College Avenue, just 1 mile east of Moreland Road in Muskego. Olson'sPower.com. Olson's Power Equipment.
You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show, live from Paulies Pub and Eatery at 81st and Greenfield in West Allis. Sponsored in part by Complete Heat Treating. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
And we're back on the Racing Roundup program. What a great program we've had tonight. Thanks to our friends at rapinas.com. We're actually going to put the webcast up on our replay mode, so you can go to our website anytime after the show's over. We're going to put it up there, and you can watch it at your leisure in between lawn mowing cutting this week as you're getting ready for a big Memorial Day weekend and going to Great Lakes Dragway and the short tracks in the area. Want to make sure that you have it all figured out. And on Sunday, if you want to watch the NASCAR race, the best place to do it, or one of the only places in town you'll find actually the only place in town you'll find our Racing Roundup engineer, Dave Schmelzer, on Sunday. He's behind the bar at Paulies Pub, where Layton Avenue meets Forest Home at 82nd Street in Greenfield. NASCAR's Sunday specials at Paulies Pub include $2.50 domestic bottles and $5 domestic pitchers. Paulies Pub has 2 volleyball courts and a huge yard. It's really nice. To host your next summer party, they sponsor pool, dart, fantasy football league, softball, and kickball teams too. Every weekday, Monday through Friday, 2 till 6, the happy hour offers a buy one, get one, rails, and domestic beers. You can also like them on Facebook. Get into watching races with other NASCAR fans at Playoffs Pub, 8222 West Forest Home Avenue in Greenfield. Thanks to Dawn and the whole gang there for helping support what we do. Next week's program, holy cow, we've got a great one for you. Bill Kremring's got the Indy 500 report. Our photographer, Don Chapman's going down for the 51st time in a row, something like that. Not lying. Been a long time. Don goes every year. Looking forward to seeing his photos coming back from there. Dean Strom will have the short track report next week. Super late model series outlaw. I'm going to call him an outlaw. Travis Sauter will be here at the show. NASCAR truck racer Camden Murphy's on the program. Road America Moto America Pro Superbike point leader Cameron Barbier and his roommate Garrett Gerloff. They race hard on the racetrack. They'll be racing May 31st, 20th, and 29th, 30th, and 31st. At Road America. We'll talk to them on the program as well. Good to see Donnie Scheffler in the house again. As I mentioned, he won the feature at Beaver Dam on Saturday night. Frank Smith also popped in here. I also see great to see Mark Goodman here Losers Car Club. He's always a great supporter of our program. Thanks for being here once again this week, Mark. In the waning moments of this program, I'd like to tell you about all the world of short track racing. You can certainly go to the short track and see it for yourself. This is the Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track Report. We encourage you to do that to select the right business and residential security system for your needs, including alarm systems, closed circuit, and card access. It's a lock. Contact a Great Wisconsin Short Track supporter at 262-790-9400 or go online to bonafidesafe.com. Madison International Speedway, first Friday night, and they're Wisconsin's fastest half mile under the NASCAR sanction. Dale Nottestad held off Jeremy Miller to win the 30-lap late model feature. Zach Riddle won the first supply fast dash before a third-place run in the feature. Ryan Goldade swept the Dave's White Rock Sportsman Division. And it was great to see Dan Snyder and the Bandits and Aaron Moyer won their respective races. 3 track champions from a year ago already in victory lane on Friday nights at Madison. They go back this Friday night at Madison for Buck Night with all concessions priced at $1. Racing begins at 7:30 for NASCAR Late Model, Sportsman, Bandits, and Vintage Racing of Illinois. Casey Johnson had 2 track championships to his credit at Jefferson Speedway. Add one more feature to that on Saturday night. He won the 50-lapper. Whitewater's Jay Calvis won the 30-lap Sportsman headliner at Jefferson. The ARCA Midwest Tour was in action. We talked to John Giandelos about his run at the Wimmer Family State Park Speedway in Wausau. It turns out to be one of the hardest-fought wins Ty Majeski's ever had in his young career, beating Tim Sauter to the line. They raced side by side for lap after lap, and the following, they actually got into each other, bumped and grabbed. And Tim Sauter said, hey, that's great. That's what racing's all about. Good on the kid for beating me. So Ty Majeski beating Tim Sauter in that event, and nice job by those guys. It was a fun event. We talked about the pavement coming up, and certainly the fans were on their feet. A big crowd turned out at State Park Speedway, according to Bruce Blodgett, who was there, who helps us on our show every week. The ARCA Midwest Tour is in action this Monday afternoon at Ileana Motor Speedway. Monday, May 25th, the Chicagoland Showdown. Visit ARCAMidwestTour.com for tickets and event details. We talked about Sunday night's big winner. John DeAngelis at Slinger Super Speedway. Al Schill was also a winner, returned to Slinger after nearly a year away and raced his way to the semi-feature victory. Alex Prunty won the 40-lap late model feature. Congrats to Grant Griesbach for his heat win over Joe Bongiorno, his first heat win for that young teenager. Nick Egan was the area sportsman fast qualifier in the Bonafide Security Solutions Special. Andy Welter was the division's feature winner. Heather Stark also became the first female in a quarter century to win at Slinger. She took it the Slinger Bees feature event. At Plymouth on Saturday night, the dirt track, Tony Peterson led the late model feature until Russ Shuffler worked past him for the win. Peterson finished second ahead of Tim Bueller and Brad Miller, who charged from 11th to 4th for Miller's sales and service. Roger Leeds set a new track record and swept the Grand National Division. Fog rolled into the speedway. They cut things short, and Donnie Gaden was awarded the win, his second of the season in the Sprint Car Main. The Badger 600 Micros were in action at Sycamore Speedway in Illinois Saturday night. Sun Prairie's Tori Strauss won the 20-lap feature, his second career win. More importantly, this coming weekend, they've got 2 nights, this Saturday and Sunday at Angel Park Speedway. The Badger 600 Micros in action, along with the co-sanctioned Power Eye National Midgets, the Mid-State Equipment Zimbrick Chevrolet of Sun Prairie Badger Midget Series as well. They want to make sure you're out there both nights at Angel Park Speedway. Wilmot Speedway track champion this past year turned in a good run. He won the IRA Outlaw Bumper-to-Bumper Sprint Car Series race. It was Jeremy Schultz by inches for second over past race Roundup Show guest Dave Utek. Good job by those guys, and looking forward to seeing how that runs. Can you tell I'm running out of time? I'm talking faster. I've got more stuff to read. Guess what? We'll see you back here next Tuesday night. Have a great, safe Memorial Day weekend. I want to thank our entire crew here at Paulies Pub for another great show. Thanks to Armin from the Big 920, the Big 1070 as well for all he does. What a great program. Find out what we do on Facebook, on our website, racingroundup.net, and we'll see you back here next Tuesday. Be safe. And until then, have at it, racers.